Now then, guys, welcome back to the Cycle Sunday podcast. Mr. Bowker, I missed you last week, my friend.
Do you know, I really missed you as well. We've not. It's like we've not spoken for ages. It's rubbish.
I know. So let's cut to the chase. Massive apologies for not putting out a podcast last week. It was a combination of two things. I think we're both having pretty busy weeks right now, with Paul in the shop until all the hours God sends, and me flying around the country doing all kinds of things. And we had organised to record the podcast on Thursday evening, but I'd been filming in Wales. And I left much later than I planned. Didn't get back until after we'd actually scheduled to record the podcast, and I didn't have any batteries left. And then the next day, I went away for my birthday, and I tried to do a social media detox.
How did that work?
Not very well. So I didn't do any editing.
Right.
Which for me is massively unusual. I think I went 3 days without opening my Mac, which I can't remember. I can't remember the last time that happened. So I still reply to some comments and put some bits on Instagram and stuff, but no editing at all. But yeah, so unfortunately, that meant that last week we couldn't do a podcast. So big apologies for that. I have had a few people reach out going, where was the podcast? Is it out there? Can I not find it? So we just didn't manage to logistically do one, but we are now. So we've got a couple of cool things to do. We're going to help one of your customers this evening, but more on that in a moment.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be useful just to do a few bits of where are we with stuff. I'm going to start off with a really exciting one, and that is Mrs. Petrolped's e-bike and the imminent delivery, which is next weekend.
This weekend.
Oh well, yeah. Well, sorry, yeah. Yes, this weekend. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes,
it's Thursday. Yes, of course. Yeah. See, time's just moving on so quickly. Yes, this coming weekend. So for the guys listening to this on Sunday, we'll actually be together because you're going to come down on Sunday. So we'll be filming stuff for season 2 of Cycle Sunday. You're going to film yourself on the way down. I've prepped Mrs. Petrolped that we might want to try and film her doing her first ride, which would be good fun.
Yep.
And I've also clobbered Dan because I went out for a bike ride last night with Dan. That was the first time we'd been out on the bike since he broke his collarbone, actually, which was really cool. We just did a quick 20 miles on the road bikes. Good. Okay. Yeah, really good. He's been out a few times on the road bike.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been out on the mountain bike yet, but we nearly did last night. But I just fancied a road bike. It was a beautiful sunny evening, and we did a quick 20 hilly miles, which was the first time I've been on the bike for a few weeks, actually, thanks to workload and stuff. So that's really, really exciting. And Mrs. PP is very excited about her new bike.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Well, that is one thing that I can absolutely guarantee is ready.
Excellent. So I've seen pictures, so I know you've got it. So it's not like, so while we're on that subject, dare I ask if we've had any kind of update on the Bianchi and the missing Campag drivetrain?
Yes. So I had a...
That's not a very positive yes, mate.
Well, I'm waiting for a call back because I phoned up a couple of weeks ago to get a further update again. And every single drivetrain manufacturer at the moment, this isn't a Campag thing. I need to tell people this is everything.
Oh, yeah.
Had gone back to October.
Oh?
Uh-huh. So
October?
Had gone back to October.
Wow.
However, we were phoning for something else today, And the guy that we spoke to at the official UK Campag sort of distribution hub said
Yeah.
that they're now expecting some things have come forward where they might be thinking July or August. But the problem is, I don't know if that is everything to complete the group set or
Yeah.
the vast majority of things, but crucially, one bit being missing that means that we can't finish the bike. So
Like a
I'm
battery connector or something.
well, no, it'll be something. Do you know? It will be something even worse than that. It will be something like the bolts that hold on the rear brake caliper or something. You'll have absolutely everything, and then you'll just have this one nut and bolt that is critical. That it is that part that's fitted for your particular frame, and it will just kibosh the whole thing. So I'm waiting for a phone call back. So yeah, it's
I
we
mean,
are.
on a serious note, I mean,
Mhm.
I know we've talked about this in a previous podcast,
Yeah.
but on a serious note,
Hmm.
it's, I mean, I'm sure it's already affecting business in a big way for you in terms of things like repairs and
Yeah.
just giving people, a realistic time frame for when you can get their bike serviced
Yeah.
must be a nightmare. And the question I've got for you, I guess, is what's being done about it? Because if it carries on, it's only
Mm.
getting worse from what
Yeah.
I can see at our end.
Yes.
It's going to get to a point where the bike industry literally falls apart.
Well, it's not the bike industry falls apart. What will fall apart is your point right at the beginning, which was the supply of repair items. So I think we touched on this in the uh, what's wrong with the bike industry, and what you've
Yeah,
got to bear in mind is that whilst there are lots of people who are manufacturing frames, so there's Trek, Giant, Specialized, and then everybody else, each company is up on previous years by tens of percents in terms of growth
yeah,
because of the demand. But always remember, there is only three bona fide proper volume transmission manufacturers. There's SRAM, there's Shimano, and there's Campag. And then for suspension components,
yeah,
there's RockShox and Fox are the main. And then obviously we're heavily reliant on Bosch for electronic powertrains for e-bikes. So, but you've got to bear in mind that all of these suppliers supply all or the vast majority of frame manufacturers. So if every frame manufacturer is up 60% on last year and are placing orders plus 60%, Shimano, SRAM, RockShox, Bosch, all of these companies, they have to be up by 500 or 600%. And there isn't a single to
yeah.
supply all of the growth in all of the frame manufacturers. And there is no way, you don't have to be a businessman, you just have to have common sense to know that one company like Shimano or Campag or SRAM cannot grow their business by that volume to cope with the frame manufacturing uplift. So it means that every single spare
Okay.
part and component is being used and bought up by the manufacturers in order to build bikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because my degree's in manufacturing engineering, so I know you can't just scale a factory
Yeah.
by several 100%. I mean, well, for so many reasons. There's just the pure investment to start with, but then it's
Yes.
space, it's
Yeah.
people, it's and I think I'm sure
Yeah.
there's probably a knock-on effect with just the general shortage of raw materials, like we're seeing in lots of other industries.
Yes.
Just the raw
Yeah.
metals, the alloys that you need, the
Yeah.
the the various metal
Yeah.
components that you need. It's a big problem.
Yeah. And also, particularly on EPS. So EPS is your
Mm.
electronic components. Well, it splashed all over the news, right? Jaguar Land Rover shut their factory down. We got it was something crazy, Peter. We got like one of the last 5 Ford Transits in the UK that were available because Ford had to shut their factory down because of a lack of semiconductors.
Oh,
So anything that's got an electronic chip at the moment is knackered.
yeah. I was talking to someone who works at Jaguar Land Rover, and they were saying that they've got, I think it's for the new the new Defender. In fact, it might be lots of their cars. They can't get a chip, a semiconductor chip that's in the headlights. So they're running all of the
Yeah,
cars off the end of the production line, but they're sat in a car park with no headlights.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so how many? I mean, is it? I don't even want to go to the blaming COVID thing, but it must be a factor of
Hmm.
a bit of COVID, but also just people going out on their bikes more and wanting to buy more bikes.
Yeah, yeah. It's all of these things. And the problem that we've got, we're a customer based company. We are a family business. We're not a massive bike chain that's a faceless corporation that doesn't care about its customers. I'm in the shop and working 7 days a week to look after our customers. And we have even now had to stop selling any spare parts for bikes if it's a part for a bike that hasn't been bought from us.
Hmm.
And you know, I, I won't I won't lie about it. You know, you won't. We will have people complaining that they can see cassettes and chains and chain rings and all that sort of stuff hanging on our walls in our workshop, going, but I can't ride my bike. I can't get a chain anywhere. I can see one on the shelf there, but that stock that we've got, we're selling the best part of 200 to 300 bikes a month at the moment. All of those customers will need replacement parts for the bike, whether under warranty or whether just general servicing. And I'm not being funny, we have to prioritize the people who buy bikes from us.
Yeah,
We've got to keep those people on the road.
yeah,
And it's massive cash investment for us. We've got the best part of 6 to 8 months of spare parts on the shelf, bought and paid for, in order to keep our customers on the road. And even then, we're worried that we're going to still run out and upset people.
yeah. I can't. Well, I can't imagine actually. Here's us kind of getting upset because because it's ruined the series of videos we were making and we can't finish building a bike. But in the real world, it's a business, your business, and I'm sure many bike shops around that
Mm.
haven't got either the it's not necessarily just the financial wherewithal, but the forward
Yeah,
thinking, customer oriented approach that you
yeah,
guys have got, to be trying to solve the
yeah,
problem that actually is a problem that's going to happen in 6 to 9 months' time.
indeed, indeed. And that's where Richard and Richard also wants to come on the podcast as well. He said the other day, and he is the person who spends all of his days and nights. Actually, he's just an utter workaholic, trying to forward plan and forward think all of these things to try and deliver a great customer service. And yeah, it's tough, it's hard work, but at the same token, you know we also pre-ordered a lot of bikes, which means that fortunately we do have the availability of bikes, and we're shipping them all over the UK
Yeah,
now. It's going
yeah.
great.
So we'll have to wait a bit longer.
Mm.
my
Yeah,
frame,
no,
my frame will be last
and
year's frame by the time we put stuff on it.
oh, don't. It's no, it's going to be exceptional.
Okay.
But if I want to turn a frown upside down, you know, okay, we've not finished your bike, but it's also, I think, provided some real life content for this year. If it was, oh, everything's gone to plan, we ordered everything in December 2020, it all arrived in March as planned, we did the build video, and now you're riding your bike. Yeah, that would be exceptional, for lots of reasons.
There'll be people out there, because we have had comments. Well, you could just order them from, I'm just going to say, an online bike supply chain. I'm like, well, they won't have them either.
No, and that's the thing. And what a lot of people will do is they'll sort of be busy going, oh well, such and such has got a chain, and such have got a crank, and such and such. But you've got to bear in mind, all of the stuff that we're ordering is genuine, UK sourced, fully warranted product that we're going to then get an after sales backup on as well. So yeah, it's not that straightforward, people. If it was, it'd be built by now.
I know.
Yeah.
So it may well be that the e-bike comes before the Bianchi.
Well, yeah, potentially. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy.
The e-bike I decided I was getting 3 months or 4 months after we decided we do the Bianchi.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's nuts.
Anyway.
So do you want to know my news?
Say again?
Do you want to know my news?
Go on then.
Well, I've just decided that enough's enough. I'm going to get back to being fit. So I've shaved my legs again.
That's a bit too much information. That's not going to save you a lot of weight, mate.
You'll be surprised. Put them on the scales.
Well, it's quite funny because one of the things, the last podcast we did, the guys listening to it on Spotify or Apple. By the way, if you listen to on Apple, head over to Apple and give us a rating and stuff, because that helps.
Yes,
helps with pushing things out to us. But for those watching it on YouTube,
yes,
because I know quite a few people do that, they'll have noticed that my video corrupted. So I literally got the first minute and a half of video, and then I got no video at all, but I still got the audio.
Yeah.
So I dropped some cycling photos from my various, because we were talking about getting fit to do challenges and things. So I went back into my archive of pictures. And it was really great to do that, but it caused a bit of a problem because I looked at some of the photographs of like when I did Paris-Roubaix or when I've done the dragon ride and stuff, and I was so thin. I was so fit. It was really, I was like, and it really did upset me a lot. I thought, oh my God, I got no stomach at all. There's a picture of me just before I did the Roubaix, and I was literally flat stomach. I'm like, yeah. So that really spurred me on to sort my life out and get some fitness into me. It's very easy, I guess. We have a similar problem, you and I, and actually, I think it's the same for a lot of people. Work tends to get in the way. You know, you're running a bike shop. I'm out videoing stuff and editing stuff, and the hour on the bike always takes the back seat. There's always a convenient excuse not to go out on your bike or not to do, a set of exercises when you wake up in the morning before you get in the shower or whatever it might be. And I need to start getting back into that kind of mentality, I think. So so we're in the same camp, mate. We both need to get fit.
Yes, no, we do. I mean, I stood on the scales, and seriously, I just thought enough's enough. This is getting ridiculous now. So
did you feel like you were in a car maxing it down the autobahn and you ran out of speedo range? When you stood on the scales,
it wasn't that bad.
Couldn't help myself. Sorry.
I know.
Now then, so we've had a kind of put the world to rights around the bike industry.
Yes.
So one of the things that we were going to have a chat about, which I think is quite interesting, and we can expand it beyond just the little challenge we have for one of your customers.
Yeah.
But we were going to talk about what good kind of, and this is a crossover from bikes to cars and back again.
Yeah.
Is one of your very good customers is after a good car to have if you're a cyclist. Do you want to give us a brief of what we need? And maybe people can, as we talk through some options and things to think about, maybe people can put in the comments and stuff what they think.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Anybody who comes up with stuff that I haven't thought about, please put in the comments, because there must be loads of stuff. Right. So this customer, he's a great customer of ours, really good friend of the store, and he had a Alpha Giulia Quadrifoglio, a beautiful,
I don't
beautiful bit of kit.
The past tense "had" in that sentence is sad.
Yes, it is very sad. It's sad for him, but it had to be a pure practical decision.
Okay.
He's had to move office, so his mileage is going to, over the next 12 to 18 months, is going to ramp up massively. And the way that the residuals have been over the last 12 months on these cars, it was either effectively sell it today and virtually not lose any money on what is paid for it, which is just staggering, or don't sell it, use it, put a ton of miles on it, and then who knows what the residuals are. So I think he's made the right decision in getting shot now, but he's as upset as we all are. However, what he said to me was,
because let's face it, the Giulia QV is a brilliant car.
Yeah, it's a stunning bit of kit. So here's the brief. He's got around 35 comfortably to £40,000 maximum budget. It can't be a van for the company reason. It has to be a car.
Yeah.
He's already got an SUV, so it cannot be an SUV.
Yeah.
It's got to be up to 5 years old, maximum. He'd like an estate, but it could be a large hatchback as long as he can get his Bianchi Ultra XR4 in the boot with the wheels on. Now, he is a 55 centimetre, so he's not trying to get Pete's bike in. He's trying to get a normal size Ultra in.
Right.
Okay. And
normal.
And then he also,
very rude.
And well, you know me, he also needs to be able to have a roof rack on there as well to put his brand new Bianchi Arcadex on the top of it when he's going. I know,
right?
I know, yeah. And I tell you what, I'm going to show you pictures of.
This guy's got style, man.
Oh, he does. Well, you want to see his new Arcadex because it's not only an Arcadex, but it's an Arcadex with Shimano GRX Di2, the electronic transmission. And we've also done an upgrade on a set of Bontrager Aeolus Pro 3V wheels and 40mm Michelin gravel tyres on it. And it looks, we finished it today, and I didn't have time to photograph it, but I will send you photos. It looks incredible. So yeah, that looks nice.
Is it in the Celeste? Is it in the Celeste and the dark blue?
Yeah, Celeste and dark blue. Yeah, but yeah, I'll send you the photos. Okay, so it can't be an SUV. Estate preferably, but large hatchback is okay as long as you can get the bike in. Up to 5 years old. 35 to £40,000 max. It wants to be entertaining to drive, but it doesn't have to be massively sporty, right? Because once you've had a Giulia Quadrifoglio, frankly, nothing's going to hit that button properly. So, but it's got to, he's a driver. He loves driving. And he's got children as well. So, and his lovely wife. So it's got to have Isofix in the back. And I think that was everything.
That's dead easy.
I've got my cars.
So it's not. He doesn't want a. He doesn't want a tow hitch for a bike carrier on the back. He's going to put the bike on the roof.
Bike's either going to go in the roof if it's a dirty bike, or in the back if it's a clean bike.
Okay. 2 options. Dead easy.
Yeah.
And I've driven them both, and there's a review of both of them on the channel.
Yay! Go.
And the first one, I've owned 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Audi S4.
For 35 to
you
40
could get,
grand.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
You could get the last of the petrol ones, like I had.
Yeah.
I mean, I sold that for mid-30s.
Okay.
So you could get what's a B9 S4, so the 3-litre V6 turbocharged. You get one of them low to mid-30s with a bit of spec on it, 2 years old, mega car.
Yeah. He actually sold.
It'll do 30.
Yeah. He sold one of those for his Quadrifoglio. Worth noting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he had.
Right, okay. So he's already.
Yeah.
He's already bitten that cherry. So that's one.
Mm-hmm.
You could. I don't know what. Having not looked at Auto Trader.
Yeah.
The latest generation S4, which has been around a bit now, 18 months, 2 years, I guess.
Yeah.
Is a diesel.
Right.
But you might get a mild hybrid diesel. You might get a bit more. If he's got to do the miles, that might be a better option.
Yeah.
But that's your. It's quick, 350 horsepower. It's an estate. It's a big car. You'll easily get a bike in the back without taking the wheels off.
Yeah.
It's not too high, so getting stuff on a roof, roof rack is super easy.
Yeah.
So that would be a good option.
Yeah.
And it's 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
The other one that springs to mind is a BMW M340i Touring.
Yes.
That's a good car. I don't know, however, off the top of my head, price. I think a used one, 2 years old, you might, because you want the latest gen, you might struggle to get that for 40. I don't know. I would have thought you'd get one for less than 40.
Yeah, yeah. You might get an F series. You might get the last of the F335D X-Drive Tourings for that.
Yes. Yes.
And Richard's got one of those.
That would be a weapon. Yeah. Mega quick, good fuel economy, good for long journeys. If he doesn't mind an oil burner, I mean, having gone from an Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio with that beautiful sounding V6 to go to an oil burner might be a bit of a leap, but that would be a good.
But
plan.
wouldn't he get?
They're the 2 obvious ones. Though I'm not a massive Mercedes fan, but you could probably go for a C-class estate, which are the kind of their equivalents. Yes. Then I'm going to chuck a couple of left fielders in, and the first one is a Skoda Octavia VRS.
No, that ain't going to work for him. He's not a snob. He's absolutely not a snob. But
he ain't going to put a Bianchi on top of a Skoda.
The problem is, it's actually quite appropriate because Skoda, I think the new Octavias, I think they look fantastic. I think they look absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
and in fact, actually, we had a customer who came to the store and I saw his car in the car park. He had one of those in the sort of Audi Nardo grey. with the sort of black diamond cut wheels. And I thought, flipping it, that looks ace. Really good.
Yeah.
So Skoda VRS, I think that is a good... I mean, those boots, right, they're bigger than my living room. They're massive.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think bang for buck, you know, when you go away from the German trio, I think you get a lot for your money. And then my other one, because we're going estates here, aren't we? And again, it depends on what his performance aspirations are. But I think one of the best looking estate cars on sale today is a Peugeot 508 station wagon.
Do you know, I like those.
Mega. Do
they do a sporty one?
Yes, they do. It's only just come out though, and I don't think you're going to get it for 40 grand.
Right.
It's there's a few. I'm trying to get hold of one at the moment. Actually, there's a few reviews on YouTube because it's got it's a hybrid drivetrain and it's pretty pokey. Because I've driven the saloon.
Yeah.
And the car itself was brilliant, very comfortable. I think it looks stunning.
I like it.
It just didn't have enough go. So yeah, they do a higher spec one, but I just think it's a really good looking car, really interesting interior. The only thing that's a bit weird is the steering wheel's tiny.
Yes.
Because you look over the top of the steering wheel to the dash.
Yeah.
So it is a bit weird, and it takes some getting used to, but a very, very good car.
Yeah.
So they're for me. I'm trying to think any other.
Do you want mine?
Other station wagons that, if you were going.
Do you want mine?
A bit. Huh?
Do you want mine?
Go on then.
Right. So you have had Audi S4.
Yes.
Avant.
Yes.
You've had F or G, if you can get it, 340, 335, whether petrol, diesel, X-Drive, BMW Estate, Touring.
Yep.
Skoda VRS Estate and Peugeot 508 Estate.
Yes.
They're your options. Right.
Yeah. I've got some more, but that'll do for now.
Okay. My first two, and then I've got a left field. So, in fact, in one. Right. Let's go a bit of bullseye.
Oh my God, I've been joined by Jim Bowen.
Yeah. So, first one. Golf R Estate.
Yeah. They're not that big, though.
Oh, I don't know. Back of a Golf R, 55 centimetre Bianchi. So that's
seats down.
Seats. Oh, yeah. Seats always have to be down to get a full bike in.
Yeah.
So, Golf R Estate. That was one. I thought, because they're quite rare, and I think they, with the 4 poo shoots on an estate Golf, I think they look like a bit of a Q car.
Yeah.
They look a bit...
Good shout.
Yeah,
good shout.
They look a bit boring until you see the 4 poo shoots at the back, and suddenly you go, oh, doff the cap to that one. So that's my first. Second one, and I think this is a car that has grown into its looks to be one of the nicest looking estate cars after the BMW Touring. And that is the Focus ST Estate.
Ooh. I'd not have thought that. We had a Focus Estate once and it was horrible, but that's a long time ago.
The new one went past. I was having a pint with Richard. I shouldn't have said that on a school night. I was having a pint with Richard and one went past again in a... I'll tell you what colour it was. It was this beautiful dark maroony metallic red Focus ST Estate, and I looked at it and I thought, that is a really good looking car, and it actually sounded quite good as well.
Interesting. And you get a lot for your money.
I think you get a new one.
Well, probably actually. Yeah.
And then my left field one Now, this is more. So I've got Golf R Estate and Focus ST Estate,
Mm-hmm.
but the left field one, which has got no performance to it whatsoever, but I'm just thinking from quite a cool, rugged mile muncher with a big boot.
Skoda Yeti.
No. Volvo XC70.
Yeah, but you have to surrender your will to live to buy one of them.
I don't know. I just think they look quite cool.
That's an age thing, mate.
Oh, okay. And then,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Volvo make good cars, but if you've come from a Stelvio Giulia Quadrifoglio,
but that's my point. What is going to replace?
Oh, I've got one.
All right.
Ferrari FF. I mean, it's a bit out of budget, but.
Do you know, the problem is he will listen to this and I can guarantee he'll be laughing his head off now about what I'm about to say, because the moment that you said that, he will be straight on Auto Trader. Okay, could I manage that?
Yeah. The problem is, mate, you don't want it, because if he buys a Ferrari FF, he ain't going to be buying any more bikes from you, because he's just going to have a massive finance payment. Well, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? A Ferrari FF with an Arcadex on the roof.
Oh, that'd be quite cool. Can you put roof rack on a Ferrari FF?
You might suction cup one on.
Ooh.
You know, I'm trying to think really hard. The sad thing, I can't think. Bearing in mind, you know, he's got Bianchi bikes. You think, well, it's got to be an Italian car, and I just can't think of an Italian wagon estate that I'd.
And it's a shame, because do you know one of the nicest looking estate cars that was around in around 2002 to 2004, and I really liked these.
Yeah.
They were crap, but was the Fiat Stilo?
Yeah,
as a car,
or an Alpha 159 estate. With those 6 headlamps.
Why don't they make that anymore?
I don't know. That was a. I mean, again, probably relatively rubbish car because it kept breaking down. But God, did it look good.
It looked great.
They went through. I think they went through a whole phase, didn't they, Alpha, with that, and then they did the Brera and the Spider, which looked amazing but were shocking.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a really tough one. The other thing, I know he said no SUV.
Mm.
However,
yes,
if he went down the kind of compact SUV route, so
Ford Puma ST.
Yes, it's not that big inside though.
Oh, right.
I mean, it's a brilliant car.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, put it this way: just stick the Ultra XR4 on the roof with a Velo sock on it. Brilliant car, but no. So I was thinking that, or something like an SQ2 or an RSQ3 Audi, or something along that ilk might be a bit of fun. But yeah, I think to be honest, I think your best bet is the German wagon, is the S4. I mean, you don't even have to have an S4 if you can find one. Get the 3-litre diesel Quattro A4 S line, brilliant car, amazing miles per gallon. I mean, I know it's diesel, but yeah, no. So that's a good one, actually.
Do you know the other?
See, there we go. We should set up a consultancy service for what people should buy.
We should. And do you know the other one? As really left field, and this is only because another customer actually has one of these, and I couldn't believe how big the boot aperture was. Audi A7.
Yeah, good car. Yeah, good car.
Massive.
I mean, one of the things you could say, depending on size, is we went down the A4 3 Series route. You could go A6 5 Series route,
Yeah.
You get a bigger car because I'm thinking for the family and everything. Bigger
Yeah.
car, bike could go in easier.
Yeah.
Your budget's going to then stretch a bit. I mean, I don't know what. I don't think you'd get something like an S6, but you could get a really nice A6 with a decent spec on it and a decent engine, and again 5 Series. I'm guessing like a 530
Yeah.
touring with X Drive, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's plenty
Are
out
there,
there. And then we're going to
there
upset
are.
the Mercedes fanboys. E-Class Mercedes estate. Just,
Yeah.
I only don't like it,
Are there
Mercedes because
any
their press
big?
team are
Are there any
rubbish when
big
it comes to YouTubers.
hatchbacks?
Huh?
Yeah. Are there any big hatchbacks that we've forgotten about?
Well, I guess I mean the S3 Sportback that I bought up to the shop when I came up last time, that gets a bike in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And is smaller and cheaper and than an
Yeah.
S4.
Yeah.
And you'd get something on the roof, no problem. So yeah, or an A. What's the
A35.
Mercedes A? We got the A45, haven't you? What's the slightly bigger, chunkier version of that? GLA 45.
Okay, that's a sort of almost Puma-y type thing, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's just a little
the
bit of a
AMG
sort of
one.
crossover.
Because I get the thing. I've not met this chap, but bearing in mind his bike and car history, I think
Yes.
an AMG GLA 45, that would be quite a good shout, actually.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool, wouldn't it?
And it would sound awesome as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very good. So okay, so if anybody else wants some bike buying advice,
Yes.
car buying advice, you know where to come.
Yes.
Come to us.
Yes.
So moving on, we totally unscripted this one, by the way, just obviously.
Yes.
I don't know if you've been watching the any of the Grand Tours. I don't know if you saw because the Dauphiné, G. Thomas is doing quite good in the Criterium de Dauphiné, which is always a good run up to the tour. But
Yeah.
I've not. I don't know what it is at the moment, and I went through a phase where I watched. I watched all the Grand Tours on the TV religiously, especially the Tour de France, for probably 3 or 4 years. And I haven't watched much cycling on the TV in the last couple of years. And I don't know whether it's because I think I got well into it in that probably from 2009 onwards when Bradley Wiggins was in when Team Sky started to really rock and roll.
Yeah.
We went through Bradley Wiggins and then into Chris Froome and whether that was the reason I was watching it so much, but yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have a draw to me at all.
No, I'm very, very similar. I think the sort of road ride. I mean, Richard loves it. Richard and his wife Madeline will happily sit with a glass of wine and watch the highlights, and they really enjoy it. To be honest, I'd rather drill my own teeth than watch the vast majority. Than watch the vast majority. I mean, if there's quite an interesting climb, I love to see the tactics being played out on the climbs.
Yeah.
But
when the tour's going up Ventoux twice in a stage this year, so I will be tuning in to that to watch that. Because having ridden that, and then you watch the guys go up. I mean, I took 2 hours to get up Ventoux, and the guys go up there in about 55 minutes. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. The cheating.
I think it's been a few years since when there's a real kind of match, when there's two amazing riders that are all pitching each other, and there's a lot of rivalry. It always kind of, makes it a bit more special. I think so.
Yes.
When it was, I don't know, Contador and Wiggins or whoever it might be. So it's funny. I just wondered whether or not what people think, because I love my professional cycling. I do love watching. I love the tactics. And I think one of the things when I got into cycling, I had no idea about until I started watching it was the the way that on any stage race, there's 9 riders or 8 riders, whatever it might be, and
Yeah.
if they don't work together, you don't win, right? There's one guy wins the Tour
Yeah.
de France, but he does that because he's got 8 amazing riders behind him, and I love watching the
Yes.
way they work together, and they be that when they're riding in a big long line, doing on and through, protecting the leader, or when they're helping on a tactical battle on a climb, or when they're feeding. I think it's fascinating to watch.
Yeah, it is. It is fascinating to watch. But personally, I love watching mountain biking, and it doesn't matter whether it's cross country, so professional cross country marathon, or whether it's downhill. On the telly, I'll stick on Red Bull TV and I'll watch the races in full, and particularly a full sort of hour and a half cross country event, men's and women's.
Yeah.
Both of them are absolutely brilliant. But I'd much rather do road riding rather than watch it.
Yeah.
And I love mountain biking, but I equally love watching mountain biking. But I don't like watching road riding.
Yeah. Now then, getting towards the end of our time, but there's something I need to tell you I'm going to do to my bike that I think you'll be happy with.
Okay.
So my Venge is now in summer riding out trim rather than being stuck on a turbo trainer. And I've been out on it a few times, and I think I'm going to change the tyres because it's got 23s on there, and I think I'm going to put a bigger volume tyre on it. And I thought you might be happy about that.
Do you want me to bring some down for you?
That's a very good idea, actually. I forgot you're coming next week. That wasn't a loaded question, by the way. It was just I thought I might do it. I can't run tubeless, so I won't be running tubeless because my wheels won't do it. But
no.
But yeah, no. I
well,
thought
do
I
me
might,
a favour.
What's that?
Yeah, do me a favour. Send me a WhatsApp to remind me for the morning, and I will bring you a pair of the latest 25mm Michelin Power Road, and a couple of lightweight tubes as well. And what I will also do is I will install them for you on Sunday whilst you pass the beers.
Excellent. So you think 25, not 28?
Well, you can't get 28 with a caliper bike.
Oh.
Irrespective of what the forums say.
It's a good job I didn't go and order some then, isn't it? Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. No, because I don't get me wrong. I love the look of my bike with my red, because I've got Michelin Pro Race Enduro tires, with a red sidewalls, and it looks ace.
Yeah,
but it is quite firm.
Yes. Oh yeah, harsh.
Yeah, and I'm thinking maybe it's what's that?
Do you know what we could do?
What's that?
We could have a change the tyre and reinflate the tyre live race.
Oh, you're so immature. Go on then.
Who doesn't want to see that?
Yeah, you'd win. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, so that'd be cool actually. But yeah, apart from that, it's all good. I'm just enjoying getting out. I just need to get out more.
Yes.
Stop doing all my YouTubing stuff so much. But no, it'd be good. So in terms of just to finish off, letting people know where we are with season 2 Cycle Sunday. Mm-hmm. As I said, we're getting together next weekend because you're bringing T's bike down, and the plan is to kind of have a sit down and a bit of a chat through what we're going to be filming, both me down here and you up in Edinburgh. And start compiling stuff. I've got a amazing set of suggestions and stuff that we're going to go through that people have emailed in. So massive thank you for people sending those in. And then also we're going to start trying to compile a list of guests to get on the podcast. So it's not just me and you talking drunkenly over a glass of wine. We're gonna start doing that a little bit more. So
Yeah.
so that should be good. We just
Yes.
want to up the game a little bit, but it's been a real challenge
Hmm.
for us. Obviously, the delays we've had on the bike, but we are innovative and we'll carry on making cool stuff.
Yes.
And hopefully people have enjoyed that. But yeah, so if anyone's got any suggestions about what any cars we haven't thought of, I think we were quite thorough, really.
That was quite good. Yes.
Because it's I think it's the age thing as well. Because if it was more than 5 years old, I think
Yes.
an Alpha 159 estate would be absolutely ace with a couple of Bianchis on it. That'd be
Yeah.
wicked.
That would
But
look
if
good.
he's got to drive to work a lot, then that's probably not a great idea. But,
No.
or just buy a Stelvia Quadrifoglio and have two SUVs. But
Yes.
but then the whole point is you're going to muller it with mileage, so that doesn't work either.
Because the question I was going to actually ask, and I think I know the answer to this, is if you were going to go down the hatch route. Sorry, we're getting back onto this again. But the other thing I thought about was Charlie Clubman was a JCW Clubman.
No, it's not big enough. You won't get the bike in the back.
Right.
I mean, I know I've got a particularly big bike with a very long saddle seat post, but I just don't think it's big enough inside. If you are happy to put the bike on the roof, amazing.
Yeah.
So for his Arcadex, great, but it's just not big enough inside.
Sure.
Countryman maybe, but that's kind of then going on to that compact SUV thing. I tell you what, if I know I'm now going to tee up my video, which by the time this goes live will have been Friday, so check it out on the channel. Cupra Formentor.
Yes, I love the look of that.
Absolutely amazing car.
Right.
But it's an SUV. Well, it's only a compact SUV. It's like that's basically a Golf R on steroids, but better looking and way better on the inside. But that's not hard with a Golf, really.
And how much are they new? Because it would be a new car.
They are about 50 quid under 40 grand.
Okay. As a brand new car with a full warranty, because I think they look amazing.
Yeah, and they've got 310 horsepower, 7-speed DSG gearbox, 4-wheel drive,
wow,
full Napa leather interior, everything. You don't have to spec anything. It all comes as standard.
Wow.
Yeah, the one I had flat metallic paint, and that was like a £2,000 option, which I wouldn't have because it was a nightmare. But choose it with just normal paint. I think it's an exceptionally good car.
Yes.
And it's the first Cupra new car. So other Cupras in the range have come over from Seat, like the Leon and stuff.
Yes.
But this is their first new car, and it was brilliant. Drives brilliantly, and it's fast, man. Really fast.
Really.
So there you go. That on that bombshell.
Yes.
Check out my video that landed on the channel on Friday, and let us know how he gets on.
Brilliant. Yeah. No. We will update the podcast as to what he buys, and I think he would be really up for us doing a review on the car that he ended up buying, watching it, putting his bike in the back, putting his Arcadex on the roof, and having a chat. I think he'd be well up for that.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. Now, the other cool thing is next week's podcast. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but we're going to film that next weekend when we're together.
Oh, can't wait. Can't wait.
Should be good. With a beer.
Yeah. With a beer. Yeah. No,
definitely.
So looking forward to seeing you.
Cool. All right, buddy. Well, I'm going to knock that one on the head, my friend.
Yep.
And hopefully, so let us know any cars we've missed. Put it in the comments or send us a DM. Yeah. And stay tuned. So, as I said, we've got plenty of things coming for Season 2 Cycle Sunday. We'll keep you posted if we know anything new on the developments of the Bianchi. But don't forget, we do have some e-bike stuff coming.
Yes.
Because that's definitely going to happen before October, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And I need to update you on a ride that Rosie and I did last Sunday in the Lake District.
Okay. Well, maybe that can be one of the subjects for next weekend's podcast.
Yes, because I actually have, if we want to change this up a little bit, I actually have some video coverage of it. And I don't know if we can actually cut in the podcast into some video.
We can on YouTube.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
So I do have some video from the ride.
Excellent.
Yes.
Of you being rad and ripping up the gnarl. Yeah.
I was shredding gnar, apparently.
That's the one. Yeah,
Yes.
something like that. Anyway, without me embarrassing myself too much more, we're going to call that one quits.
Brilliant.
Mate, it's been brilliant talking to you. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah.
Don't forget, if you can give it a rating, this podcast a rating on Apple, that would be amazing.
Please.
If you haven't subscribed, if you're watching it on YouTube, that would also be amazing. Let everybody know that the podcast's there, because the more people we have listening to it, the more likely we are to carry on doing it.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. And we shall see you on the podcast next week.
Yay.
But I've been Pete Greaves.
And I've been Paul Bowker.
See you on the next podcast, guys. Ride safe.
Ride safe, everyone.